Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Off the bat, just a little bit of a content update for everybody. One, I apologize I haven't been as active on this page this week. Really appreciative. I got to do a great gig this week calling Dirty Boxing Championships. It was a freaking thrill, man. I mean, that was a kid dream, getting to call a fight like that, an event like that in Miami. Truly something I've always wanted to do. I've gotten to do some small time fights before, like out of trucks, calling cards in Mexico, but I've, not got to do anything to that scale. I had an absolute friggin' blast, but it was a lot of work for this week, going to do fighter meetings, checking out the weigh-in, and all of that kind of deterred from with doing the radio show, kind of deterred from this channel. So expect more. I will expect a very busy week ahead on this channel, just because we have the Jimmy Butler return, and that is what we're going to focus on here in this video, because some Heat fans a little bit perturbed by some of his comments with his upcoming return, and we'll get into it. We'll be boots on the ground for that game. And excited to see what it all entails and what's going to be happening. But that'll get going tonight. That'll get going on Tuesday. The big thing we're going to wait for on all of that is going to be whether or not Steph Curry is going to play in that game. The Warriors are coming off a loss to the Atlanta Hawks, a rare Jimmy Butler loss in a Warriors uniform. And, of course, they don't have Steph Curry right now after he got hurt with his tailbone injury or pelvic thing, whatever he was dealing with. Which that's an injury. I remember Jimmy Butler having that injury when he played against the Denver Nuggets. That's not exactly one of those things that is an easy recovery, I would think, especially for somebody who moves as much as Steph Curry does, the age Steph Curry is. But they're obviously, they got a lot at stake in this Western Conference. They've gotten off to a really, really hot start, but they got to keep their place in things right now. And right now the Warriors currently a half game up on the LA Clippers to stay out of the play-in tournament. So very big game. Very, very big game for the Golden State Warriors coming up. And for the Miami Heat, last night the Chicago Bulls beat the holy hell out of the Los Angeles Lakers. So Miami is now a game and a half behind Chicago, who already has the tiebreak over them. So Miami currently looking at a situation where they not only have to win 2 games in the play-in to make the playoffs, but then they also have to win both of them on the road, which makes that task even the harder. And, of course, they're in the midst of a 10-game losing streak. They take on the Charlotte Hornets tonight. The big thing with this is we have the status of 2 of Miami's stars having to deal with their injuries, and one of them being Bam Adebayo. And in the midst of our rage from the last one, I forgot to mention, and I'm sure that you guys saw it, but Bam Adebayo got his knee landed on in that game, so he is going to be questionable for tonight's action. And then Tyler Hero apparently was also dealing with something because he has a hip injury that is leaving him questionable for tonight's action. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, this could be a game where even in spite of Miami not being able to beat anybody, they could not be. There's a possibility they won't be without Tyler Hero or Bam Adebayo for this upcoming matchup tonight here against the Hornets. So definitely something to keep an eye on with the health status of Hero and Bam Adebayo. But we'll see what's what there. As far as Jimmy Butler is concerned, so Jimmy afterwards was asked about the idea of making his return to Miami, and I am not surprised by Jimmy's comments at all, because Jimmy pretty much no-sold it, which is, I think, play number one out of the Jimmy Butler media playbook is if somebody tries to make something a big deal, Jimmy will throw cold water on it, and Jimmy will either be a contrarian or he will no-sell it. And for him, I think some fans are bothered by some of the comments because it feels like he diminished a lot of what his time in Miami was. But I also think there was some truth to what he was saying as well with his frustration. This is some quotes here from Youngmasuk on ESPN. When asked about it, he said, quote, yeah, I was traded there, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, it didn't end the way people wanted to, yada, yada, yada. But that's so far behind me now. I don't even think about it. I don't pay attention to nothing except the trajectory of this squad. Draymond Green said of this upcoming game, he says, we got Jimmy over there. We know it's a big game for him. They got Wiggs over there. We know it's a huge game for him. We want to win for Jimmy. They're going to go try and win for Wiggs. We're going to come out ready to play. This was a quote, though, that I think bothered some people. And I don't really think, to me, I don't think it deserves to draw that much ire from the fan base, especially the way that he started off the media session, because he was asked about, what the return is going to be like. And he said that, quote, I love that fan base. They show me a lot of love. I'm there to win now, and I'm the opposing team. And then he was asked about his time in Miami, and he said, well, I'll just give you the sound here. This is what Jimmy Butler had to say on the fan base and his time. And this was the answer to all that on Jimmy's time with the Heat.
Jimmy, you curious what kind of reception you get?
Not really. It don't make me no difference. I'm a member of the Golden State Warriors. I love that fan base. They showed me a lot of love while I was there. But I'm there to win now. I'm on the opposing team.
When you look back at your career in Miami, how would you categorize what the team was able to do while you were there?
We was all right. We didn't win nothing like we were supposed to. So, I don't know. We made some cool runs. We had some fun. I think that's all we did.
So there you go. Jimmy Butler. I mean, he didn't say anything untrue. Did he not? I mean, do you want Jimmy Butler here, sitting here celebrating Eastern Conference championships? He's right. They didn't win anything like they were supposed to. I think that's a fair criticism of all of it, is it not? Like, nobody can sit here on Jimmy Butler being upset that he has a lot of what ifs on his Miami Heat tenure about moves that were made or weren't made, not doing enough. Everybody here has been pissed off at the front office about the fact that this team never was able to make that move to get them over the hump. And then on top of it, they also had a lot of injuries on some of their runs where you have to wonder if Goran Dragic and Bam Adebayo are a little healthier, well, a lot healthiher, in the 2020 finals. Could they get over the hump? You have to wonder if Tyler Hero was healthier in the 2023 run, and you have a less beaten down veteran squad of Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker, and Jimmy Butler makes that shot. Do they have a shot against the Warriors that year? The same thing could apply for the next year, even though some people think that Tyler Hero was addition by subtraction with the 2022 Eastern Conference, with them being the 1 seed, and then the 2023 where Tyler had the broken hand. So I don't think that it's that upsetting of a thing for him to say, we made cool runs, we had some fun, and that's all we did. Because I think, one, it's not untrue. Second of all, if you guys know Jimmy Butler, and I think for a fan base that you would think has followed Jimmy Butler as much as this fan base has, Jimmy Butler is never going to blow smoke into the meaning of a meeting, especially in a media session. Will he do it on social media? Yes, on his own terms. He will talk about rematches or make fun of Trae Young, or we'll go, it's that time. Of course, that will be on his terms. He can do that. But if somebody is asking him the question and they're going to lure that out of him, pretty rare that that's going to happen on the side of positive thinking on things, whether it be awards, whether it be scoring, whether it be team accomplishments. I think the fan base honestly should have some solace in the fact that he said, I love that fan base, and they showed me a lot of love. And I think, to be honest with you, and I've said this in my lead up to this whole matchup about what it's going to be like, I really don't think it's going to be hostile at all on Tuesday. And I've had a couple of reasons for this. Now, Steph's injury may change things, but one, the Heat are bad right now. And I do think that nostalgia of seeing Jimmy again is going to have people in more of, honestly, an appreciative mode, because you really do think about, man, this guy was good. But then also the fact that I think the Warriors are going to have a lot of fans there. And so I just have this feeling like it's not going to be this hostile environment. And I also think, and I've stayed true to this the entire time, I think the Heat are going to take the high road by the highest degree in this. I think that the Heat always like to keep up high-class appearances. And I know that they're petty and hurt about some things. And I don't even think that they're in the wrong to feel that way on some of this stuff. But I do know, much like Jimmy isn't going to show you that he's hurt or feels some type of way about his time in Miami and give them even the oversatisfaction of all the things that that they did. I think the Heat the same way are not going to give anybody the satisfaction of, oh yeah, we're feeling real petty, because maybe if the Miami Heat, honestly, if the roles were reversed right now and the Miami Heat were flying high with Andrew Wiggins and they had gone some type of run to get out of the play-in and were 5-6 and were incredible without him, then maybe you could be petty bastards about it. But to do that on top of where you're at right now, the team being the lowest it's ever been in 17 years right after you trade him away, I mean, there's losers and then there's being really sore losers about stuff. And I just think that it would be a horrendous look for the team to go out there. This whole, you play videos for champions. Dude, bullshit. Come on, man. Do the thing that, makes you look like you're taking the high road and that all this is behind you. Ultimately, what Jimmy did at the end, do I like it? Obviously not. I would have liked him to continue to play like he did against that one Detroit game, and we could have worked this thing out. But on the other side of it, Miami did not want to invest in him long term. He got that ankle injury against OKC, and he was done putting his body on the line for the Heat. He was. Do I like the pissing match that's happened? No, I'm in D Wade's camp. It sucks, the PR thing that has gone back and forth. But for anybody who's upset with the comments about, we didn't win like we were supposed to, and we made some cool runs and we had some fun, but that's all we did. I just don't think that you've been paying attention to Jimmy Butler enough if that's a comment that gets your feathers in a kerfuffle. Like, I remember asking Jimmy Butler about this a couple of media days ago. I think it was after the 2020-21 season, and they were coming back, and this was the year the Heat would end up being the 1 seed, Kyle Lowry's first season with the Heat. And I remember we had him on, and Leroy and I were getting into a debate with Jimmy about revenge games, right? And I was asking him about the 76ers and all that stuff. And he's like, no, I don't believe in revenge games. Do I want to, beat my friends like Joel Embiid? But I don't believe just because I left the 76ers. He's like, why do I, why would I feel that way?
We have arguments about this all the time. Do you believe in statement games?
No.
Revenge games?
No. Not at all.
Yeah. Dude,
Not at all.
Are you sure?
I'm 1,000%.
That's from the outside looking in. Like, man, you like.
I could kill it.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I need to know, what is, against who? You mean, against one of my former teams or something like that?
Yes.
Nah.
Yes.
He basically asking you if you petty.
I'm wondering if you have a photo every time, just of the Sixers mascot, and then you just rip it that morning.
I don't not like the Sixers though. I don't got no problem with the Sixers.
It doesn't have to be a problem. Just a little extra edge that night.
If anything, I just wanna beat Joel. That's it.
Right? You want
to? I love him to death.
Hey.
So I want to beat him.
Tell him you want to beat your friends worse than people you don't know.
Yeah, without a doubt. I definitely want to beat Joel.
And now you have Goran between your crosshairs.
Yes, I want to foul the out of Goran.
Dunk on him.
Oh, I don't want to. I'm not gonna dunk, but oh my gosh, you don't get flagrant one. I don't get thrown out. Flagrant one. Oh, you damn right.
Now, let's fast forward the clock a few months later as the Miami Heat eliminate the Philadelphia 76ers. And what was the famous quote that came out over after that series? I think you can all think of it. The old 4 words. Tobias Harris over me? So when I say you won't coax Jimmy Butler things out of him and he won't play that game on his terms, especially when it goes to, gassing up anybody else or putting things overly positive, If it's negative, Jimmy will be blunt negatively, and he'll say where things are at on a team, and flat out just give you the matter of fact there. But the blowing up of things or overblowing of things, not going to happen in that setting. He will do it usually via Instagram or something like that to really hit a point home. Give you another example. What was it? So it was that same playoff run, the Tobias Harris over me. It was not when Brady Hawk asked him about the whole playoff Jimmy being a thing, and he goes, "It's not a thing," and then gets all cheeky about it. That same playoff run, or maybe it was the playoff run after, he comes out the tunnel saying, "Best player in the world," and it's like, okay, like he doesn't want it. Like he can believe things. But he's not gonna. He may be proud of the times that he had with the Heat, and he can also be frustrated that it didn't end up. And true that it all was fun. But if you think that in the matchup going into it, especially after getting your ass kicked by the Hawks, you think that was going to come in here and be like, "Oh, it was such a magical run," blah blah blah. I think that he may feel some feelings if it is a cool return, and the fans do show him some appreciation, and he's asked about it after the game. I'm sure that Jimmy Butler will, give it a nod and be appreciative of all that, and especially more towards the fan base and being disappointed and all that. But I really don't understand being mad at these quotes. I don't understand it. I don't really get it. I think people are just pissed at the whole situation and whatnot. But from my standpoint, it's really not a big deal, and especially knowing the history of the player and how he usually deals with stuff like this. And he said afterwards, "It's another game for me, another game that we're expected to win, and we got to go figure it out quickly, especially if it's without Steph Curry," it says in parentheses. So there you go. We got that matchup coming up. We got the Hawks tonight, maybe without Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, so we'll see how that goes. The Heat trying to avoid being on an 11-game losing streak going into the Golden State game. So we'll do it again tonight. There will be a video up. We will recap it and have some fun with y'all. But this is going to be an interesting week, to say the least. I believe Ira and Anthony both saying that Jimmy Butler and the Warriors have landed in Miami, and that I think Jimmy's going to basically get the whole week here, because I think that they're here already. Game's not till Tuesday. And then I think they're going to be here till Thursday, so he gets a day in and he gets a day out. So I guess if you're going to go to Big Face Coffee, if it's still open, this might be the week to do it if you want to, go stand out there like John Cusack and say anything and profess your love for Jimmy Butler and how much you miss him. This is the week to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I believe the Miami Open's going on, so if you love tennis, I'm sure he's going to be there. Although the funny thing would be, to be honest with you, is if he went to the Miami Open all day today and just watched tennis nonstop and then just did it for 2 days straight in the sun and then couldn't play the Tuesday game. That, pulls a LeBron James. Remember when LeBron, there was a point after the Christmas game, LeBron James would just flat out refuse to play the Miami Heat. Now, he probably can't pull that move. They are in a very tight race right now. But it would be funny. Funny is funny. And I would, as Jimmy being the master troll, if they had a little bit more cushion, if he were to go to the Miami Open for the next 2 days and then just be like, "Oh, I can't play this Heat game," that would be a really, really funny chess move. And maybe if Steph Curry was healthy, he would pull it. But obviously, I would imagine that he can't do that, and probably also wants to just get this over with. And I think everybody wants this chapter to be over with.